um, immigration and nationality refunds policy. I know that many times our clients will call and then be asking whether they could get a refund, depending on whether the application has been refused or they've withdrawn the application. Or they are healthcare workers, and we all know that recently there was a policy that was implemented to do with the fact that if you're a healthcare worker and you submit an immigration application, chances are you may get a refund for the health surcharge aspect of the fees, not home office fees. But as we know, home office fees encompasses two elements. Now, the first is the fee that the home office is taking from you to process your application. The other bit is the IHS component, which is money that you are paying to contribute to the well-being of our dear NHS, as we all know. Now, that contribution will be taken from you from the outset when you make an application. We know that this fee is paid when you make an immigration application under the immigration rules. So the application is submitted under EU are exempt, so you don't pay IHS when you are submitting application under European law. So this for example, the typical example that I can give is you have a British child, and you're doing FLRFP application, that is human rights applications, or you are in Ghana and you are making an application for entry clearance to come and join your partner, or you will pay the IHS fees. Now, recently what came up is the fact that if you do not have a tier 2 visa is those, let's say you are a nurse or you are a doctor, you're outside and then you apply to come to the UK to work as a healthcare worker. You are on tier 2 because you're coming to work. Those will automatically get a refund with the NHS or the IHS. But if you are under the Appendix FM, under the immigration rules, or you apply, not under the tier basis, then you won't get automatic refund. So all of you that have been, calling in and asking whether you can get a refund in relation to your immigration application because you work in the healthcare sector or you are an NHS worker, yes, you can get a refund, but it's not automatic. So what you do is that once you've made an application, because the application is set up in a way that you have to pay the IHS element of the fees in order to progress. So you go online, you submit your application, whether you have a British child or a British partner and you are doing FLRFP application, or you are married to a British person and you are doing family life application. You will pay 1,033 as home office fees, and then you will pay the 1,500, as we all know that there has been an increase in the IHS fee since last April. So you will pay that fee up front. However, once you've paid and you submit the application, you will have a reference number, that is the IHS reference number. You will need this and then make a refund application. So you go online. So Home Office they've created a route that you can actually apply for the refund. You will put in information, so your application reference number, the IHS reference number, and then you request for the refund. You have to do this every 6 months. Unfortunately, it may not be refunded all. So what they are saying is that actually to be eligible to even apply for the refund, you must have paid the IHS in the first place. That is fine. You also must be working for an eligible company. So eligible company or organization, for example, NHS, or the care, you are under the Care Quality Commission. So if you work for a nursing home or a care agency and they are registered under the Care Quality Commission, then you may be entitled to apply for a refund if you're doing a human rights application. Remember, you should have worked in your role for at least 6 months. So that is for an average of at least 16 hours a week. So you work as a healthcare assistant. You must, have worked for at least 6 months in that role, and also you should be working more than 16 hours. So although you work, as part-time, it should be more than 16 hours to be able to take advantage of this concession. Now, you will not be eligible if you were unemployed or had unpaid leave for more than 28 days during the last 6 months. It's all it's all complicated, but it's not. So basically, you should just be in an employment where it's over 6 months. You shouldn't have been away for more than, let's say, a month, and then your hours of work should not be less than 16 hours. If this applies to you, then of course you can apply for a refund if you're a healthcare worker. Now, one thing that we should note is the fact that you may be working for a healthcare organization, but their registration may not be such that you will be entitled. So you have to check with your employers whether they have a status for you to be able to apply for a refund. So this is something that you've been asking, that you are a nurse, you are NHS staff. NHS staff, you don't have a problem because that is straightforward. It's quite obvious that you work for NHS, so you will get it. The only difference I want you to take note of is the fact that if you are on tier 2, you are known to Home Office already because you're on the points-based system. So what that means is that your visa was granted for you to come to work for the NHS or a healthcare organization. So they know you already. So when you do the application, of course, you can get the refund. But if you applied under Appendix FM, that is, you rely on your British child or your partner, those applications are not automatic. They are not aware of you. So you have to then, after paying the IHS upfront, then you can make an application to get a refund of that. And that is done in a stacking way. So 6 months thereafter. So you get a bit of the 6 months because they know that maybe if they refund all, and you stop your work, you shortchange them. And that is why I suppose they're very, very smart on this one to say that you can apply for the refund every 6 months. So bear in mind. Now, there are other means that you can get a refund from. Let's not forget. If you have dependents, so let's say you are applying, you have one British child, and then you have 3 children who are Ghanaians, and you are applying with them. You can apply for the refund for yourself and the 3 dependents also. So you are a healthcare worker, you've done an application under Appendix FM or human rights, and you want a refund. Please go online, just type in Google refund, Home Office fees refund. It will come up. You do it online, it's free, please. So you can put in your information and then wait for the refund to be done. Now you can also get a refund. Let's step down. You can get a refund if, for example, you submitted an invalid application. Invalid application is whereby, for example, under the old, the recently repealed law, the regulation 2016, EA regulation 2016, if you've done an application and you were required to produce your sponsor's ID, for example, those extended family members that have been required to make an application on paper, you were required to submit your sponsor's passport ID, which will make the application valid, because when you look at the requirement to submit an application under the 2016 regulation, you must submit your passport or your ID and the sponsor's passport. This will make the application valid. If you fail to do so, the application will be invalid. Now, if that happens, you can get a refund. They will reject the application. Remember, they are not refusing the application, but they are rejecting the application. However, they will take £25 as their administration fees from the fee that you pay. Normally, that application you pay £65, so it's not that much. But then you would get a refund short of the £25 for their admin. So if you submit an application under EU law, and then we know it's free now. That is under Appendix EU. But under the old regime, the 2016, you would have been charged £65, but then you get £25 off, and when your application is rejected. Let's move on to withdrawals. So if you withdraw your application, you may get full refund if, please remember, I'm not saying that when you make an application and you withdraw, you get your full fees. You will get your full fee refund only if you've not done your biometrics yet. So, for example, you submitted an application under private life that you've been here 20 years. And then, recently the Home Office will send you an email to say that go and do your biometrics at a designated center. One of them is Croydon. Now, if you have not done that yet, you can withdraw your application and get full refund of the fees paid. If you've done the biometrics, it's sealed. Unfortunately, you may not get a refund because the application has been sealed and is complete and then is under consideration. Let's move on to a third option. So inappropriate or void applications, you get full refund. What are inappropriate and void applications? So let's say you submit an application, that you shouldn't have submitted. For example, void application can be you have 2.5 years leave to remain, and then it expired, and then you are renewing. You've done another 2.5. Maybe you are under the partner route, so 5-year route. When you get to the third renewal, instead of you to apply for indefinite leave, maybe you applied for a further 2.5 years leave to remain, and then you just found out that actually what are the application that you submitted, that is a void application, because what you are entitled to is not what you've applied. You can get a full refund. Now, you can also get a refund with variations of immigration applications. So, for example, the example I just cited, let's say you are due for indefinite leave to remain, and then you've applied for 2.5 years leave to remain, and then you find out that actually you should have applied for the indefinite leave to remain. You could apply for variation of leave so that it will now be indefinite leave to remain, that you pay the difference. Please bear me 1 second. So Prophet is calling, so I hope everything is set now. So we're gonna go to the main topic for today. But just to wrap up, what I want you to take away with you in relation to this podcast is the fact that if you are a healthcare worker in the UK and you came here not under tier 2, that is not under the point-based system, and you are making an application, or you've submitted an application already under the Appendix FM Human Rights application, you may be able to get a refund of the IHS elements of the fees that you paid. So I said that Home Office, the fees, there are two elements in that. They are £1,033 fees, and then the 1,500 for the IHS. That 1,500 for the IHS, you can apply to get a refund, but they've done it in staggering. So what you do is that you, every 6 months, you go online, make an application for a refund, input your IHS reference number, your name, passport number, all the details of the application, and then they will refund you 6 months worth of what you've paid. You will do that consecutively until you finish your routes. So the healthcare workers, healthcare assistants, not nurses and doctors and those people working for NHS only, but those also working in the healthcare department, you can also get a refund, but it's not automatic because you are not on the tier 2 route. So please take note of this.